Hello, I'm Buster Baxter, and you're watching a podcast where nostalgia comes alive. It's Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. Roll it!
Welcome to Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Join Jake and his friends on a journey through pop culture of the past, where they interview professionals in the worlds of acting, directing, writing, puppeteering, and so much more. Who will they be chatting with today? Find out in this Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode.
Hello everyone, welcome to this episode of Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show, where nostalgia comes alive. Happy to be with us. Thank you for joining. As always, I'm your host, Jake Deffenbaugh. Mute. Of course, as always, our co-hosts, Chris Bixby and Matt Bingle. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Hi, everybody. How are you, Jake?
I'm doing great. Matt, thank you for asking.
Good. Well, this is the second in our series of Hop interviews for the new series Max. You want to take it from here, Jake?
Yes, thank you, Matt. So yes, we have another two guests in this episode. A little bit. We have last time done one. Today's episode it's another episode that we are focusing on new Max series Hop, and of course we'll be discussing other things throughout their careers in a little bit. Very delighted to have two guests on, David Connolly and Charlotte Walker. How about you here, both?
Yes.
Hi.
Yes,
All
very to
right.
have you both here.
Yes, very happy to have you here.
Yes, absolutely. So, to kick things off, could you tell our audience a bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, who wants to start? David, how about you?
Sure. Hi, everybody. Really nice to be here. Thanks for having us. My name is David Connolly, and I play Hop in this new adventure called Hop. I'm so thrilled to be part of such an amazing legacy of Mark Brown and to be able to be part of this wildly inclusive show that is aimed straight at the hearts of the generation who's going to change the world. So the more ammunition we can give them to think open-mindedly and open-heartedly, the better off we all will be. So for me to get to be a part of that and to share the screen with people as amazing as Charlotte has been a real joy. So happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the compliment, David. Now, can I explain myself?
Sure.
Sure, go right ahead.
All right, then. I am Charlotte Diana Walker. I am the voice of Philippa, and voicing her was a real blast. After voicing her, I don't think I'll ever listen to cartoon characters the same way again. In a good way, of course.
Nice.
Of course. So, for the both of you, what were your childhoods like, and how did you grow up?
Go ahead, Charlotte.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Your childhood is more recent than mine.
Okay. So I was born on December 7th, 2003. And to two very amazing parents. And when I was 4, I was diagnosed with autism, and my parents were a bit worried at first, but as I matured, they got to kind of understand me more. I mean, they've always understood me. I am also the older sister of Fee Walker, who voices Baby Terry.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Nice. It's wonderful. And David, what about you?
Yep. So I was not born in 2003, but we'll leave the rest to people's imagination. I was born with a congenital defect of both of my lower legs, which left them um, uh, not able to bear weight, so I couldn't walk, and so spent the first 5 years of my life at the Shriners Hospital in Montreal, here in Canada, to have both legs amputated and to be fit with two artificial legs that enabled me to first walk and then run and then dance. And so that's kind of my childhood, and that's why having authentic casting for Hop, who has one leg that's longer than the other, made a lot of sense. And I'm really, really happy to be part of the hopefully new wave of authentic representation on stage and screen.
Mhm.
Nice. Nice. So for you, David, years before becoming the voice of Hop, you were a choreographer on various projects. How did that kind of first come about for you?
Well, I started my professional career as a dancer. I was on Broadway for a while out of college, and then kind of danced around the world. And dancers' shelf lives are pretty short, and so ultimately you have to figure out a plan B. And for me, that was to become a choreographer and director, which is what I mostly currently do.
Nice.
That's awesome. So, as well, for you, David, of course, you're a choreographer and director on a children's series, The Duo Bops, and its spin-off, Duo Bops Walk and Roadshow. What were those experiences like in do that? I mean, Duo Bops is such a great show.
Thanks for saying
It
that.
is.
Thank you. Yeah, it was the gift that keeps on giving, because it was actually a relationship forged through the Doodlebops that had me come into this Hop universe. This many years later, one of the producers of the Doodlebops was involved with this and reached out to me, knowing my story and my background. So the Doodlebops was and your listeners will know, a lot of people don't know that show anymore, but animation fans do, and nostalgia fans do for sure. So yes, it was like we were at Madison Square Gardens. Like, it was like there was the television show, but then Disney took it over, and then we became a live touring entity, and like we went all over North America, and we landed, at the Staples Center in LA and at Madison Square Gardens, and like it was just wild. We were at Madison Square Gardens in the afternoon that J-Lo was in the evening.
Oh, that's great.
So
Wow.
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
my hope remains that high for Hop. I think that Hop has the same potential to capture hearts and minds, and make a difference in the same way that Doodlebops did. So fingers crossed.
Nice, nice. So for you, Charlotte, you work as an artist. So in addition to acting, did you always want to make your own artwork?
Yes, and I've also been considering becoming an animator as well as a children's book author. I love to draw. I do it almost every day. And it feels like meditation for me.
Nice, nice. Love that.
Feels that way for a lot of people. That's certainly wonderful. So, for the both of you, what inspired you to want to get into acting?
Well, back in 2019, I was attending an animation camp. And I told my teacher, Bruce, about my idea for a kids cartoon, an idea that I still have to this day. So Bruce remembered me well into 2022, and I guess he kind of thought to himself that I would be the perfect voice for Philippa.
Nice.
Oh,
Wonderful.
that's great.
And
Yeah,
you are.
great.
Yes. Hmm. And David, what
Yes.
about you? What inspired you to want to get into acting, after, you know, choreographing and things like that for many years?
Yeah. Well, I mean, in this case, it was just it was just it was impossible to say no to because because it's a very shallow talent pool because of disabled artists because traditionally training has not, you know, the door has not been open to be at the table of especially post-secondary education for disabled people. We just haven't really been invited to the party because there hasn't been anyone to look to say, I want that career, right? Because nobody is, you know, there's just no role models really, or characters written. So, which is why this show is so incredible because the disabilities in this show aren't the focus of the show. They aren't the plot lines. They just happen to be fill in the blank, you know? And so I think that's what makes it so exceptional and so kind of next level genius actually is that they haven't made a big deal of anybody's situation. They just all coexist and they have the same problems that everybody else has, you know. They have to figure stuff out regardless of the fact that they have certain limitations. And hopefully that's the message that people are taking away is that we don't have to be the center of a pity story. We don't have to be a victim. We don't have to be, you know, the center of anything like the situation. We can just be. They just happen to be this shape, size. You have fins, you have scales, you have feathers. It doesn't matter. We're all in the same, you know, same storm, different boats, same storm. And when you work together and you lean into your friendships and you lean into love, I guess, at the end of the day, then things sometimes work out. But the other beautiful thing about this project is that not everything works out every episode, which is kind of wild, right? For kids TV, that like sometimes at the end of the episode, not everything is resolved. And I think that's
For sure.
really smart. And I think it's really, really important for kids to see that you don't get to wrap things up in, you know, the length of an episode. Sometimes things take longer to figure out. But again, with open communication, with friendship, with open minds, things get better. So that
Nice.
was a long answer to your question.
No, that's okay.
No worries at all.
No worries.
So, of course, currently you both star in the new Max series Hop, voicing Hop and Philippa, respectively. What was the kind of audition process like for the both of you?
Go ahead, Charlotte.
I mean, for you, Charlotte. Yep.
Well, for some reason, when I heard Philippa, I was thinking about Penny for some reason. Anyway, yep, I loved voicing Philippa. It felt amazing, and I just, I, and I know in my heart that sometime, someday, a season 2 will be greenlit, and I'll get to voice Philippa once again.
That would be nice. That would absolutely be nice.
Yes.
So great. David,
Nice.
what about you?
Well, for me, the audition is what made me like really fall in love with the whole project because I remember one of his lines um, it's a scene with Benny. I think this episode is actually out. And it's something to the effect of, "Hey, Benny, are you okay? Because it's okay if you're not. And it's okay if you don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to sit here with you not talking about like it just the vibe of it was so not traditional animation, like not traditional preschool animation for sure, that this character was like, I got you, and if you want to talk, great, and if you don't want to talk, great, but I'm gonna sit here with you because I'm your friend. And I was like, whoa, this is this is major. And they didn't talk once about his, I'm making air quotes, disability in the episode. And I thought, yeah, no, I really want to be a part of this.
Nice.
Now you are. It's amazing. So far there are 6 episodes of Hop available to stream on Max. Do you each have a favorite episode that's been released so far?
Well, I'd say mine is a circus for Philippa
Oh yeah,
for
that's a good one.
obvious
Right.
reasons.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
nice. Yeah, that's a good one. David, what about you?
I don't know the name of it. It's the dragon. It's the one with the dragon. What's that called? I should know. I'm bad. I'm fired. I'll look it up. I'll get back to you. 1 second.
Hmm. Yes, a lot of good ones.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about. One episode that I'm like thinking at the top of my head where even though I kind of mentioned it, where we chat with Mark and Peter and Tom, which of course great, great people.
Best.
There's one where like everyone is like doing a game where almost like everyone like wants to be a princess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good one.
That's the one. That's the one. It's called Princess Hop, Benny and the Troll. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, it's
Nice.
Gotcha.
love it.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah, so now, of course, Jake just mentioned them, but with working on Hop, you both get to work with people like Mark Brown, Tolan Brown, Peter Hirsch, who, of course, are best known for their work on Arthur. Were either of you familiar with Arthur at all? Like, kind of before working on this show?
Yep, I've seen quite a few episodes of Arthur as a kid,
Nice.
though I haven't seen that many episodes.
Ah, and David, what about
Gotcha.
you?
Very familiar, but they were very down low about the team before we started recording. Like we didn't have any information. It was
Oh,
all
wow.
very mystery script, mystery title, mystery this, mystery contributors, people in the audition were kind of not on screen, and you just so it wasn't until the first record where we went in and the Zoom came up, and I looked at the names of the people in the boxes. I was like, what is happening? Because, like, Mark Brown with a C, like Mark with a C Brown. There's only one Mark with a C Brown, And so I remember looking at those I saw Mark Brown with a C, I saw Tolan, I saw Pierre. I was like, wait a minute, wait, what is happening? And I had to play real cool, and I couldn't ask because I wanted to be cool, and it was my first, day, and like just wanted to be very chill, like very, actor vibe. But as soon as I got out of there, I just started Googling, and then I, did reach out to the person I'd been talking to. I was like, is that? And she was like, yep. I was like, okay. Would have been, I guess I'm happy I didn't know in the end, because I would have been really a ball of nerves, but they couldn't have been nicer. And Mark was at every single record. I know he spoke about that, but he was there guiding us like every word. And to have him be able to chime in and chip in with, feedback about, oh, that's not really working, let's try this, or like, oh, what do you think? Take suggestions. And like, it was just such an amazing process. It was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot of episodes. But to just have the anchor of, of all of them, all of the creators be there and be so supportive, right, Charlotte? Like it was so, you look forward to going every day.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. So, David, you are also a disability advocate. What are your thoughts on how well disabilities are portrayed in the media?
Well, I mean, I've spoken a little bit to that already, I guess, today, but we I stay as positive as I can and say that projects like this are moving the needle, and hopefully this will find wild success, and people who are in money making positions will see the benefit of showing how people navigate the world differently, enhances the story. It enhances the experience for the audience. It makes the story better to see different kinds of people living their lives. So I think that's where we're headed. But right now, again, there are no role models for disabled people to point to and say, I'm going to make a living doing this, because unfortunately there's only a very small handful of roles and actors out there who are finding permanent, like, big time success, that have disabilities. But it's one show at a time, and this is the show. Like, this is the one. I couldn't be more excited about it, because again, they've just done such an amazing job of writing these characters to be so different from each other, literally different species. And so if they can do it, we can do it. That's what I say. Thanks for asking that question.
Yeah.
Certainly.
So what'd you guys think of the show?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, it's great.
It's so wonderful.
Really
I love it.
Yeah, because after Arthur ended after so many years, I was kind of, thinking, what would be next for, Mark and the whole crew. And
Yeah, I'm thinking Hop is probably the perfect for another show.
yeah,
It
on
certainly
his
is.
creations. Like, oh my gosh, it's just the best.
it's a very diverse show because we live in such a diverse and inclusive world now. So I think a show like Hop is perfect for that.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, and have the characters, have their own way of each other and respecting one another, and have their kind little adventures, and have their problems resolved, or some of course not every episode, but most of them can have that one another. And I think that's great, for this generation of shows like that. And I hope a lot of kids and adults too can enjoy that coming sense.
Absolutely. I think it's really interesting, like you said earlier, how not every episode has a resolution, which I think is really interesting, not just in children's television, but television as a whole, because we like almost never see that. So, and, as we've said, the diversity is just, it's impactful. It really is, for such a show like this, with Mark Brown at the helm and all those amazing people. It really is a wonderful show.
So now, for you, Charlotte, of course, as someone who has, autism in real life, what are your thoughts about how the autism community is represented in this show?
Well, I really like it. And Philippa is basically me in a nutshell. No pun intended, since she's a squirrel. But yeah.
Nice.
Absolutely, I mean, I think everyone in the show is every character in the show, and including Philip. I think I think they're so great, and for having Philip, for have someone like character like that for the new series, I think that's great. Hopefully, children who watch it will, have have in common about what Philippa does, and all that. So you know, and I think it's great for that, for so many reasons. So to those who haven't seen Hub, what are some of the main factors people can take away from it?
I would say that I would say love wins. I know that's really cliche, but it's so signature Mark Brown. Like, it's his legacy, right? It's so what he has brought to the world for so many years and continues to bring through the world, through these stories, is that open minds and open hearts and laughter, right? It's a comedy. this is a comedy. So people, talk about the disability lens, they talk about lots of lenses, but at the end of the day, this is meant to entertain, make people laugh, and through laughter and conversation, we grow. And so that to me is what it's about. It's about every kind of, you know, personality coming together for the greater good to figure out a solution. And as we've said, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but they all grow. Whether the issue gets resolved or not, we're better people at the end of the episode. Um, that's my takeaway, and the fact that it's being told by this cast of characters, by this cast of actors, is really next level. It's hopefully the evolution and not a trend.
Nice. Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice. And Charlotte, what about you? What do you think people can really learn from Hop?
Well, each episode has a lesson, and the young children will just take away the lesson as they hear the characters talk
Nice.
and talk about the lesson.
Nice.
Absolutely. So, as Mark Brown explained before, there are 26 in total this season, right?
Yeah.
So there's still a bunch
Yeah.
more to come out. What can we expect without going into too much? We don't know how much you're allowed to say, but what can we expect for the future episodes? Because 6 have already been out. There are still 20 more that are bound to come out throughout the rest of the year. What can we expect in upcoming episodes? At least what you are allowed to talk about, of course.
Well, no spoilers, but you will see more beautiful art. Like you'll see more beauty. Like these locations, as you've been watching, right? The depth of color, the depth of detail, just the passion and detail that they demand, that Mark is so great at, and his team. You just want to visit them, and so there's a lot more locations that haven't been revealed yet. Really cool locations that if I were a preschooler, I would want to live in and visit often. So, is there a Hop theme park down the road? Yes, there is. Yes, there's got to be somewhere a theme park with lots of Hop rides.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
That'd be really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
I,
Let
Mhm.
it be so.
I think
So,
I think
It's a
it'd be
lot.
kind of like Sesame Place in Pennsylvania because they are a certified autism theme park, and I think
Mhm.
a Hop theme park too would be absolutely wonderful for that. I think it'd be another one of those certified autism type theme parks, with a lot of sensory in it. As you said, depth of color. I think that would just be
That'd
a
be so
wonderful
beautiful.
idea.
I think that'd
Yeah.
be
It'd be
great.
great, really great.
Oh, for sure. That would be awesome.
Yes.
you got the scoop. May 10th. You heard it here.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. And can I wait what more episodes to come down the line this year?
Yeah. So to wrap this up, so this podcast is called Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show. And so for the both of you, when you think of nostalgia, what do you think of, or how would you define nostalgia?
When I think about nostalgia, I think about growing up as a 2000s kid in a house in Toronto, and yeah, it was I had a good childhood.
Nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
nostalgia's good vibes, right? Like
Yeah.
nostalgia doesn't make you think of the bad times. It doesn't make you think of the trials. It makes you think of the tribulations. So for me, that's nostalgia. The things from our past that bring us, that are in our scrapbook, that you put, that you frame, that you keep close. Like I grew up without, thank goodness, without social media. So most of my nostalgia, thankfully, isn't in like living color on a phone or in a Facebook or in an Instagram, photo album. It's in my imagination, and I think that's what this show does. I think it just forces people to think, beyond things they may think about in a day. Could I live in a treehouse? Could I go to a diner on a boat? Could I live in a houseboat? Could I live on a lily pad? That'd be cool. So hopefully this becomes nostalgia for people, right? What do you guys think? How long does it take for something to become nostalgic? What's the official number of years?
That's a good question.
Ooh.
I'd say probably a decade. That's what I would think.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
That sounds about right. Okay, yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe about 10, 15 years at least, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got till 2034 for this show to be nostalgic.
Pretty much.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yep.
Great words to end on. Awesome. Well, David and Charlotte, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. This was a blast. It's great meeting you guys. Yes.
Thank you. Charlotte, before we leave, where did the cutout come from? Where did that incredible cutout come from?
That's a good question. My parents made it for me. It was for the screening party I had with my family and friends to watch the Hop episodes.
Oh, that's cool.
That's great.
Wow, that's really cool.
Very
Awesome.
cool.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Thank you, gentlemen, for helping us spread the word. Really, really
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's a wonderful show, and
yes, and
hopefully us spreading the word will help more people watch this incredible show.
Yes.
Great.
To watching or listening, please stream, the show, and hopefully, get to second season and more seasons to come.
Fingers crossed.
I think that's so wonderful for to have more shows, to have more open, more inclusive, and more respect to one another. Every character did, and I think it would be for a great show to keep going for more years to come, and hopefully that would be. So yeah, thank you both very much for taking the time to do this. It's a blast. Thank you so much for what you both are doing so far with the show. I cannot wait for what more to come with the series, and cannot wait what's next in store for you both, and keep up the great work for you doing.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Yes. Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye. It's goodbye from us as well. We absolutely enjoyed our time speaking with David Connolly and Charlotte Walker. The link to where you can stream Hop will be in the description down below for people to check out this awesome show. Again, 6 episodes available to stream so far, with 20 more on the way.
And be sure to stream the show on Max. That's where you can find it. It really is a wonderful, wonderful show made by Mark Brown, Tolan Brown, and Peter Hirsch. Certainly a wonderful show. Check it out.
But yes, I guess
it's so great. What they're doing.
But yes, I guess for now this concludes our Hop interviews, unless something else happens down the road. But for now, it's goodbye from us as well. Keep on the lookout for more wonderful interviews coming your way. And as always, what do we say, Jake?
Keep nostalgia alive. Take care, everyone. See you next time. Take care. Bye.
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 Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful Jake's Happy Nostalgia Show episode. Be sure to follow Jake and the Happy Nostalgia team on social media, check out our website, and stream the show wherever you find your favorite podcasts. And as always, remember to keep nostalgia alive. Bye-bye.